what mastering major scale triads to melody is all about.
Okay, so
So I move.
yeah, I just explain a little bit.
Okay, good.
Donc, izy zany no Mathieu avy ao Nigeria, Lagos, mpampianatra piano. Dia ny fianarana antsika androany mahakasika amin'ny maîtrisena accord majeur. Dia le triade majeur iny rehefa iny dia anamboarantsika mélodie. Zay zany no tena base-ny mozika rehetrarehetra. Dia zay no titran'ny fizarana antsika androany mahakasika an'io strong foundation hoy izy atao hoe base utile à maîtriser. Yes, you can keep going.
Okay, okay. So we move into the first slide talking about musical notation. Musical notation. Um, Sorry, please. Okay. So musical notation. Trying to get back to my screen. Sorry, please. Okay. Okay. So talking about musical notation. So we are trying to look at what musical notation is as a musician. I know you cannot actually study, get to uh, know what music is all about without coming across to what we call musical notation. And musical notation is one of the ways in which musical sounds could be documented or written down. And the essence of this musical notation is to enable somebody in another country, somebody in another environment to be able to have access to your music, either in composition or in performance. So the musical notation is a form of writing down musical sounds for it to be performed or could be used for any musical purposes. So musical notation is of great benefit because it enables a composer whose song is being written in, let's say, Nigeria to be performed somewhere in the UK. So musical notation could be able to do that. So we have different types of musical notation. We have the tonic solfa notation and the staff notation. So for our class today, we'll restrict ourselves. For our workshop today, seminar would restrict ourselves to tonic solfa notation. And in tonic solfa notation, we make use of the 7 small letters of the alphabet to denote musical sounds, which are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's D, R, M, F, S, L, T. So those are the 7 small letters of the alphabet that are used to denote musical sounds.
Okay. Okay, I keep explaining. Can you go back to the last slide?
Okay. Okay, this one.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Donc, zany eto zany ilay atao hoe musical notation. Tsy dia azakana matsy hoe izy satria fa la musical notation zany dia isan'ny zavatra tena ilaina be ho anina mpanao mozika fotsiny io na olona mpanoratra mihitsy io zany hoe ilaina io satria ny zavatra tenitenenina sy hirairaina raketina tsoratra. Zay zany tena importance an'io. Na aiza misy anao amin'iny rehefa miditra lalao anatina resaka mozika iny ilaina be mihitsy io zavatra io. Okay. Next dia be dia be ny tipana notation. Antsika zao ny nampianariko antsika dia io solfa io. Fa misy be dia be ilay izy. Dia ny solfa zao iny ampiasaintsika dia notation D, R, M, F, S, L. T, D, D. Izany hoe mba hahafantarana an'ilay zavatra ilaina sy ilay feo elo dia notena ilay izy amin'ny anarana ilay noty. Thank you.
Okay. So we move into the next slide, understanding of musical scales, triads, and melodic construction. So we want to take a case study from the major scale and triads, not going into minor scale and different types of scales, just strictly major scale. Yes. So in our next slide, I would go into building the scale. How do we build the scale? And what do we even mean by the scale? The scale in music is the sequential progression of musical notes in either ascending or descending order. Yes, I think in my next slide, okay, yes, in either descending or ascending order. So, how do we build a major scale? The major scale is formed using the musical instrumentation of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So, that is how to build a major scale. I said earlier, scale is the progression of musical notes in either ascending or descending order using the formula tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone.
Okay. Dia hitrao izay zany tsika mahakasika le fahalalana fototra. Atsika hoe fototra satria izy rehetra rehetra mila hoe. Dia ny tena fahalalana fototra ny atao hoe gamme musicale. Araka amin'izay avy eo ny triade dia araka amin'izay avy eo ny famoronana mélodie. Dia izay no jerentsika manaraka eo. Next slide please, Matthew. And eo zany tsika no miteny hoe ahoana zany io majeur resaka. Gamme majeur fotsiny aloha resaka eto. Hoe non, il faut performer can be played without. Izany hoe io zavatra io ohatran'ny hoe totohatra miakatra simily. Io le formule hoe un temps, demi-temps, un temps, un temps, un temps. Io zavatra io zany mipetraka foana na ambony ala makaty, izany hoe avy arima makaty na aty ambany ala no miakatra. Dia ohatr'izay foana ny famakiana azy na zio miembotra. Hoe c'est le temps, 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 c'est le temps, temps, temps. Okay, I give you the speech.
Okay, so we move into the next one, the concept of semitone and tone. We talked about tone, 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 semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So, what do we mean by semitone and this tone, as the case may be? So, a semitone is the closest distance between two keys on an instrument, the closest distance. And then, if we look at this is a piano, a picture of a piano, anatomy of a piano, how the piano looks like. And these are the names of the keys C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And I could say that before the C, which happens to be a white key, and a D had a D, which also is a white key, there is a black key in between C and D. It means that between C and D, there is a key that is closer to C than D. So, which is this black key. So, this black key from C to this black key is a semitone. And while that black key again to D is also another semitone, meaning C to D is a tone. It means that you can't go to C to D directly without visiting the black key to make it a semitone. So C to D is a tone, D to E is a tone because of the black key, but E to F is a semitone because there is no black key here, and the closest distance between E and F is between E. So the closest distance from E is F, which happens to be a semitone. So F to G is a tone, G to A is a tone, A to B is a tone, and B to C is a semitone. So a tone is equivalent to two semitones, meaning you move from C to the black key semitone, from the black key again to D is a semitone. So we have two semitones makes one tone. So using the piano, simply put, semitone exists between E and F, that is mi and fa, and B and C, which is T and do from the illustration. So there's a semitone B and C, E and F. The rest are all tones. So while a tone exists between the keys of C and D, D and E, F and G, G and A and B, these are where tones exist. While semitone exists in E and F, B and C.
Yeah. Okay. Eto zany concept simple le izy ary tena hoe ilaina be. Inona zany le demi-temps? Demi-temps efa nampianaritra zay hoe fa ny définition dia hoe distance akaiky indrindra entre bloc anankiroa na touche anankiroa. Dia mijery zao ianao io C entre C sy D misy touche noire. Donc zany raha C makeo amin'ny touche noire io zany hoe C dièse io, dia eo amin'ny noire D indray temps, zany hoe C makeo amin'ny noire dia mi-temps, noire makeo amin'ny D dia mi-temps. Zay moa tonga ny notation hoe zay moa tonga ny feo tonga hoe miresadresaka hoe iny temps, temps, dia mi-temps, temps, 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 dia mi-temps. Donc zany ny demi-temps dia mi-existe entre ny do sy ré sy mi, fa sy sol sy la, dia la sy ti. Aiza zany ny demi-temps no mipetraka eo amin'ny mi sy fa dia ti sy do. Satria ireo zany tsisy manelanelana eo vao mijery ny gamme majeur tsika. Dia zay le tena tsara ho fantatra. Yeah.
Okay, so I will continue.
Yes.
Yeah. So we move into the next one, C major. This, as I said earlier, the scale is applicable to all other instruments, including the human voice. So it's not restricted to the piano alone. So this same principle affects every other instrument, including the human voice. So we move into taking key C major as a case study. C major is the lowest key. Its normal scale starts from middle C and also is a key signature that has no sharp or flat attached to it. It is mainly played on the white keys if it is on the piano. Okay, so it has no sharp, no flat attached to it as a key signature, and it is the normal scale. So I have illustrated here that C is the do, D is the re, E is the mi, F is the fa, G is the so, A is the la, B is T, and C is do. So we could have a normal scale of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and upper C to make it an octave. So we have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So that is how the scale of C major looks like, running it with the tonic solfa.
Okay. Donc zany ny ny do majeur ozy isitsika na hoe C majeur, le gamme. Le gamme considère le gamme zany io clé ambany. Do zany no clé ambany ao anatin'ny clé rehetrarehetra. Zany hoe normal zany le normal io dia le etsy ampovoany, dia do eo ampovoany raha mijery ela. I do itsy ampovoany itsy. Dia tsy manana touche noire izy na dièse zany na bémol. Dièse bémol moa zany efa mety mainty reo hoe nazovaizantsika an'izay. Zany hoe lalaovina ao anatin'ny tosy rehetrarehetra blanche rehetrarehetra hoe zany a no tosy lalaovina amin'ny clé de do. Dia na mozika na amin'ny feo dia mampiasa an'io daholo. Dia gaga hoe fa maninona no tenenina hoe olona mihira ve dia mila miasa gamme majeure? Fa tena mila miasa gamme majeure mihitsy ny olona mihira. Yes, you can continue.
Okay. So we have a simple illustration here of what the scale is. Simply put, is a sequential progression of musical sounds in either ascending or descending order. So we have here to include the do, what we just finished illustrating, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It moves in a ladder form, as if you're climbing the ladder. So this is another illustration, keeping the mindset of a scale. Singing the scale is a mindset and a way of life and should be intentional, and it moves in a ladder form. So the students should be able to visualize what a ladder is, and in the course of that, they should be able to see how they can climb the ladder, moving from one step to the other, following the tonation of the scale sound.
Io zany zava-kely moa zany izy hoe ny keeping the mindset of a scale zany hoe mila tazoma ilay toe-tsaina, ataoko hoe toe-tsaina na fomba fisainana gamme majeure. Sy tsika rehefa miteny hoe miakatra na atao hoe miakatra be kely ilay feo dia miakatra moa. Dia izay zany mila hoe mamihira ianao na miteny singing the scale izy amin'ny mindset way of life and should be personal. Zany hoe tokony fantatrao mihitsy hoe tokony hainao ohatra lay sasany tonga lafetreo hoe misy manamihira ilay izy tonga dia fantan'ilay musicien hoe zao zany zany. Donc zany mila mahay na midina ilay feo. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we move to the next slide.
Yes, you can. You just can
Building
ask.
block. Okay. The building block of music. Practice how to sing the scale of notes using the ladder ideology. Usually, the singing scale easily, okay, you can easily sing the scale. Maybe either you la the sound or you ha the sound, like la 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 la. So you can either la it or ha it. So that is how the ideology of a scale looks like when you are singing it, unlike the instruments where you can just put your fingers and play the notes as the case may be. So as a singer, you need to also learn to make sure your voice carries this note very well. You don't miss sing it like I know I have some set of people that will say la 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 la. You can't even know when it is re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fi. You don't mix it, so it moves in a ladder form. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So it moves in a scale like in a ladder form and comes back. You can la it as a singer.
Well, zany I want to entraînement. L'entraînement zany dia mampiasa soit ianao mihira fotsiny, tena hoe mihira fotsiny. Dia inona no entraîner an'izany? Sofina voalohany dia voix satria instrument de musique koa feo. Dia mandeha ianao sasany manao hoe la 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 la. la, 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 la. Tena meio karakteristika. Mety hoe fa mila fantatrao fotsiny hoe zay ve le so na gamme majeur. Yes, yes, my
Okay.
can keep going.
So we move into another area we need to touch today, the triads slash chords. What do we mean by triad and what do we mean by chord? A triad is the occurrence of three notes sounding together, while a chord is the occurrence of two or more notes sounding together. So, as a singer, as a music student, or as a singer, you must be able to understand this. So you can either be able to compose very well, or be able to accompany a song very well using the triads and the chords principle. So this is how a triad is formed, and a chord is formed using the tonic solfa notation. We have here, as we said, triads is three or more notes. Same with chords. So it's only triads is only three notes, sorry, but a chord is two or more note sounds together. So we have do, mi, so, do, re, fa, la, re. So it's more like it's a principle used in the performance or in the composition of, if you are to compose a song, you must use this as a composer. It will guide you to be able to compose for other parts.
Uh-huh.
Or you could also, if you are if you play the instrument, it could also enable you to accompany songs that falls within this range. So it means when you are on do, these are the accompanying notes that will come here. Do, we have mi, so, do. We have re, fa, la, re, mi, so, ti, mi, fa, la, do, fa, so, ti, re, so, la,